I can't see the... Let's see. Alright. Trying to get it set up now. We seem to always be rolling late. Alright, today I wanted to talk about... good morning. How are you doing, Glenn? It's good to see you.
Hey, Glenn.
Princess Jaden Swain, first in the room, I think. Welcome to our show. And we're waiting on a few other people to come in before we actually get started. Omira, Patricia, welcome back to the show. It's good to see all of you guys who are in every morning. Tellen, it's good to see you. And Carmen Garcia, good to see you. I always miss you guys from one show to the next, and I know almost all of you. Angie, it's good to see you. Welcome. Bright blessings, everybody. And Mary Part, what's up? Anyway, let's see. How many others will pour into the room in the next minute before I actually get started? Because I hate leaving anybody behind as we get started. And I need to work on a little theme song that can be played without any flack being given, you know, about common rights or whatever, you know. And so, yeah, I gotta check into a lot of things. Anyway, yes, I was wanting to start getting it to where I could interview people, and I'm going to, but so far I've found complications to do with the equipment that I've got or anything that I would get in, and so I still just don't know a lot about that. However, we are checking into it, and I may have it worked out to where I can start interviewing various people in another way, a roundabout way on Skype, I think it is. Yes? You're the technician. You would have to explain all of that.
Yeah, Skype.
Yeah, Skype. That's his 50 words of the day. Crone alone, welcome and bright blessings. And we haven't yet begun. I was waiting on some few people to come into the room before we would actually start. Let's see. Anyway, today, Yamanu, good to see you. Today I wanted to, actually yesterday I wanted to do an unboxing because I had a friend of mine come in, actually a client of mine that's very quickly becoming a friend. I would consider her a good friend now. She popped up after so long of not seeing her, and she brought me gifts, and so, and it's a lot of little gifts in a little box, and it just adds up to a lot of little gifts. So it's really cool. A lot of witchy things, and I wanted to talk to you about those things in the box and what they're for, how you would use them, etc. And you guys may be able to help with this. There are some of the herbs that I studied long ago and may not remember very well, and you've got to realize that there is just so much to capacitate in one's head in the course of a day. Talon says, I don't know what I am doing, still awake. Insomnia sucks. You know what? You're not in that boat alone. I got maybe 3 or 4 hours sleep last night. I averaged 3 to 4 hours sleep for the past 2 weeks every night, and it's killing me. I mean, I would love to be able to, you know, just knock out for about an entire 24-hour period and not do anything. You know what I'm saying? And I might do that. Who knows? But anyway, yes, I have some goodies that I wanted to show in the box, what they're good for, and it's really neat. It was really a beautiful thing that she did. I think it was a mixture of a friendship gift, long time no see gift, and get well soon gift, you know, from all that I had been through in the year and a half that I had been. And she was trying to come in like 2 weeks ago, but wasn't able to because I wasn't able to take anybody. I wasn't feeling up to no good, you know. But as a matter of fact, she has a daughter that is into Fey Wicca, also known as Fairy Wicca or Witchcraft, and I will be doing an interview with her hopefully next week on Tuesday. We're setting that up already. If, you know, any plans change, then I will, by the way, let you know as soon as I find out. But I want to start bringing people into the studio and actually doing some interviews with people on various points of religious pathways and so forth. Because although we're good, you know, there's other people with a lot of knowledge as well. Oh, okay. What was going on?
Princess.
What about Princess? Let's see. What did Princess say? Oh, do you sell charms? And is that your child? No, that is my fiance, my live-in, my husband, my life. We've been together for 8 years. Beautiful, isn't he? My child, well, I am old enough to be his mom, but we don't want to think like that because that would be a little negative. I am close with his mother, and she is my mother likewise. I'm 50 and he is 27. But we 26. Are so 26. He's not 27 yet. Will be in July. But he is the love of my lifetime, and a beautiful man at that. Very giving. Let's see. Hi, Nicole. It's good to see you. And Mitch. So we are building up a full room already right off the get-go, and we haven't even started. So the unboxing of the gifts that this sweet lady brought to me yesterday, Cindy is her name. And as I said, her daughter is going to come into the studio next week, and we're going to talk about Fey Wicca or fairy magic, etc. You know, mythological creatures, things of that nature. And I think that would be very interesting. And I believe it was Glenn that suggested this topic, or was it Amy?
I'm not sure. I know Glenn suggested mythological creatures.
No, it was Glenn then. She wanted mythological creatures, and hello, Glenn. So we're going to go into that and Fae and Fairy Wicca and Magic. And I'm thinking that this is going to be on Tuesday once again. Let's see. Love doesn't have an age. It doesn't. And actually, he is older than me. I am the kid in this whole relationship, and it took him to come into my life at age 42 to calm me down because I was quite the partier until he and I got together. I was visiting the vampire bars, partying it up with friends, and shutting down the bar whenever my anger would rage and I started throwing out the red orbs. I would literally park the people on the dance floor as I cut across to exit the bar, and the people that I left behind, all my friends in the bar, informed me that the bar was closed within 30 minutes of me walking out and throwing out the red orbs. So I shut her down. Don't piss me off in a bar and while I'm drinking. Unboxing gifts and then karmic cycle. Yes, that is what we are talking about today, and we will get started with that. A lot of good things, and I will need y'all's help. Like I said, there are more than what I can think to cover. Merry Meet Mystic Witch, it's good to see you every day so far, I believe. And you have just really been, along with Yamanu and Glenn and Angie and so many of the other sage and salt and pepper to the show. So welcome, guys, and thank you for coming, all of you for showing up. Alright, so whenever you know anything to do with what's being brought out of the box, feel free to come up and give your take on it. Likewise, that's why we're all here. You know, not only am I teaching you, but you're teaching me and you're teaching other people likewise. And the truest sign of a wise one, which is what we in paganism are supposed to be, is the ability to admit and acknowledge that we are not only teacher to the ones below us in knowledge and wisdom, but we are students to the one that are above us in certain knowledges and wisdom. And it don't matter how much knowledge and wisdom you've got, but we cannot all learn every area within paganism. I mean, there's just too much knowledge and wisdom there, and so we have to focus on various subjects in our studies. Okay, so, all right, and first off, I want to take out some feathers that Cindy, my friend that brought me this box of gifts. I'm going to take out the feathers that she's granted me, and I'm going to go over those. They are from chickens, some of them quite rare. And she runs a chicken farm and has over 200 chickens of various types. And some of them quite rare and from other countries, and she's very, very proud of those, and I'm proud of her for that. But these feathers are all unique in the way that they are fresh, they're raw material, they're right off of her own farm, that she does everything with her own hands. And first off, we're going to talk about the white feather. Feathers, first and foremost, are to stir up energy in the air or draw up energy out of things. They can be used as a wand, and you can bring down power from above, because air is communication to begin with. And who better to communicate with than your God system or the people that are with you within your circle. White represents purity. White represents purity. And so you might use this particular feather for cleansing and purification and stirring up energies of pure nature from children that are in your household, if you're doing a spell work that involves them or is to help them. Okay? Now, we have a black feather. Now, it does have hints of other colors in it, but it is predominantly a black feather, and so you would go more with the connotations belonging to that. Black is always, first and foremost, the drawing of power and energy. And when you're using a wand, if you choose to use a feather as a wand, would be to bring power down from above or from around you and draw it to yourself, stirring up the energy in things and adding power to it would be very synonymous with what you're doing there. Mystic Witch says, I have a black and a white feather on top of every door window of my house. And so, yes, the protection that it can provide is very, very good, and it can cleanse all of the negative energy off of people or spirits that would enter into your house. White and black feathers there. We have another white feather, and it would do the same thing. Some of them with speckles on it, and the spots would add connotations of other things into it, meaning that it is not limited to that which is being said. And generally, they're all earth tones here, so very synonymous with the earth and with people. Hell, I could do just a show on feathers, huh? She's got enough of them here, don't she? But we're going to cut to the chase with some of these by holding multiples up. And I've covered the black feather. And this other black feather with the brown tip would add elements of the earth to it. And empowerment of the earth. So you might use it as for helping in Earth Day and stirring up energy of other people. Here are your rare feathers, though. The ones from other countries that she really prides herself on. These are really, really beautiful calico-looking feathers with blotches of different types in it. You would use these in things to do with growth and protection, elements of the earth, and stirring up eclectic energy. And Mystic Witch says, oh my God, speaking of feathers, I just saw a crow fly by. Yes, and crows are very powerful familiars, by the way, especially the ones that talk. So anyway, your calico-looking feathers are synonymous with the earth and eclectic energy, and all of these, by the way, are of communication to do with the higher power and other magical beings, other people within magic likewise. Let's see. And then we have a baby white feather, very synonymous with children and birth and renewal, purification, and you can use all of these in so many other ways likewise. Lord of lofty plumes. Goodness, that is cute. Thank you, Manu. Yamanu. I say Manu. I accidentally called you Manu. Manu is one of my gods that I call to. He is a god of the marsh and of the sea. Freaky unicorn, merry meet, and it's great to have you back once again. We've just covered feathers, and you can go back into the beginning of the show and familiarize yourself with everything that I covered on feathers in this unboxing, but that's as far as I've gotten. It's always big. It always is good. Here I am saying it always be good, when you can be similarized with assimilated to a deity. Actually, the purple boy, you did join us after all. It's good to see you. I thought you weren't going to be able to make it, and thank you for saying hi to me earlier. And really, I am glad you could make it. But like I said, so far all I've covered is the feathers in this unboxing, and you can go back to the beginning of the show whenever we're done and watch that first part that you've missed. And it really is interesting, a lot more than you would think whenever you're talking about feathers. I held up no less than what, 8?
Yeah, no less.
No less than 8. And I have a lot more here, but a lot of them are repetition. So that was very, very sweet of her. Here I have citrine. Who all in the room can talk to me about citrine and what it does? Because I know that it's good for drawing love. I know that it's good for purification, but it has a lot of other uses. So anybody who can come up and tell me what all this little stone does, I would surely appreciate it. Citrine, and gifted to me by Cindy, the same one as who has granted me all the other stuff in this box. Very beautiful of her. Let's see. Oh, and we have another feather, a baby calico feather, one of the rarer ones also. Like I said, these are synonymous with the earth, stirring up neutral energy, and also good for growth or protection. And let's see, and change, by the way. The colorful feathers are good for change if they're natural feathers. Glenn says I'm not that good with stones, so she's not able to talk to me about the citrine. Solar stone, prosperity, transmutation, manifestation. Thank you, Yomanu. I appreciate that. So it's good for drawing in the fire. Let's see, it's good for drawing money. It's good for changes. And it's good for manifestation, showing yourself, astral projecting over to other people, or calling on your deities and helping them to manifest so that you can see them. A sacred to solar deities. And I have sunstone here in the same box as well, which would be good for the same thing as well. Let's see, I must step away for a moment. Alright, Yomanu, thank you. Just holler when you get back. Citrine is good for abundance, Constance. I'm sorry, calling you by your last name here. Or your last of your screen name here. Patricia says citrine is good for abundance. So, now I know how to use that stone on my altar. You know. Chat room full of archaeologists. Yeah, but it is good to learn from those archaeologists, Glenn, because you're going to be working with stones a lot, whether you know it or not. I have to watch you later. I'm going to the Scottish Festival today. I'm late already. Alright, Freaky. just holler at us when you can. We'll see you tomorrow, hopefully. Let's see. Okay. Now, if I can see what the names are on this little container. Oh, tiger's eye. And they're not just standard tiger's eye. There are colorful tiger's eye in here. A mix like rose, tiger's eye, etc. Now, I told you yesterday or the day before that tiger's eye was my all-time favorite stone. And I'm glad that you did, Freaky. It was good to see you. Bright blessings and have fun at that festival. Anyway, the tiger's eye, I told you just recently, is my all-time favorite stone. And she brought me no less than 30 small polished and rounded stones here. I mean, a good amount here of small stones. And so I have a really good supply of different colored tiger's eye. Tiger's eye is amazing grounding. It's good to open up the third eye and the chakras. It is good for vision and clairvoyancy and things of that nature. Let's see. And she brought me like so many little empty vials that I could mix my own oils in, you know, like this, and all of them look slightly different in size or slightly different in shape. These look alike and are the same shape. And this one is shortier and squattier. And so if you have different shapes and size bottles, you can literally tell what's in them without labeling them. And so they're really, really good for that. I have a tiger's eye that got out somehow. That's rare. Anyway. Okay. Let's see. While we are on stones to some degree still, rose quartz. Rose quartz is actually very good for drawing in a lot of good and different things. Peace is one of them, but is especially good for love, for drawing in love or friendship from people around you. And Mystic Witch says, I use tiger's eye for willpower and good luck. And I agree with that. It really is good for that. Tiger's eye is protective stone that was traditionally carried as a talisman against ill wishing in curses, like to deflect the evil eye or negative energy that somebody would try to put on you, is the point that Nicole is making right here. I have some new. They are beautiful. And you know, you can never have enough beautiful stones. Hey, and boy, long time no see. Welcome back to the show.
And boy.
And Mitch Mary says rose quartz, which is what I'm holding in my hand right here, is her favorite crystal. It's one of mine too. It draws love and friendship. And if you carry it around with you, then it promotes peace of those that are around you, because it'll be drawing more into your favor through friendship. So use your rose quartz for drawing friendships. She brought me several small clear quartz pointers. Now your pointers, regardless of what kind they are, can be used and substituted, or can substitute for wands. If you don't happen to have a wand, then you can use a crystal that's in the shape of a pointer as your wand, temporarily or permanently, if that's what you wish to do. So, you know, these clear quartz crystals, they're good for taking, controlling, and directing energy. They're good for clairvoyancy, sight, psyche, and you would really do well to keep these on your altar as much as you can. Clear quartz or quartz pointers of whatever type. So you're really good with that. Let me go to the board briefly. Mystic Witch says you could take cheesecloth, a crystal of your choice, and a rubber band, and put it on your altar or on your sink, and every time you wash your hands and dishes, it cleanses it. So you would, let's see, put it inside and use it as maybe a scrubber? Is that the idea? I mean, because that would definitely be a good idea. Princess Jaden Sway, are you going to send things back to Cindy to send her like blood? I don't get what she's talking about.
Saying that you should send blood to Cindy.
Some people would be offended by that rather than feeling good about it. Everybody is different, everybody practices different, and I only draw my blood for the gods and goddesses. And that's where I'm different. That's where I vary. Everybody's pathway is different and should be aligned to what they feel is right for them. Let's see, Talon says, I've made a wicker man out of popsicle sticks and this is filled with dried herbs and flowers. He is only 1 foot tall. Monday night, we will go into the fire in my barbecue grill. And with that wicker man, you could put like some crystals and stones in there to help empower him or on his clothes, and that would be a good idea. My grandmother is Buddhist and she gifted me some gemstone bracelets. Study the gemstones, find out what they are, what they're good for, and you'll know the best times to wear them at that paperboy. Let's see. I feel really weird calling you that. And you yourself know why. Okay. Anyway, let's see. Crone alone. Rose quartz, good to keep in the kitchen to avoid cutting yourself while cooking and bringing love into your cooking. So bringing love into your cooking is a good idea for rose quartz. And if you cleanse it real good and you want to put a little love into your cooking, you can hold the rose quartz in your hand after you've cleansed your hands, of course, and after you've cleansed the stone thoroughly with soap and then with holy water or salt water, then you can pray into it, and give all your love to it, and then drop it into the stew pot or into the side that you're making, and and into the side dish that you're making that everybody will eat or whatever, to carry love over to your family, and so that they can take it through their entire day or into their night. Let's see. I'm a very pink person. And you know what, Mitch? I always knew that about you. I really did. Never heard of a wicker man. Well, it's really...
The Celts like to use it.
The Celts like to use it. It's a doll, kind of like a grain dolly.
Well,
where you would be given homage to the gods and goddess for fertility, while you are doing various things with it around in your garden or whatever. I'm missing a lot of stuff up here.
There's a lot of messages today.
Huh?
There's a lot of messages today.
It's scrolling up.
That's good.
Is it like an offering? Are you asking about the blood and how some people would give blood? Yes, it is like an offering, but I would never draw blood of another living creature or another person unless they gave it willingly, and an animal can't do that. So basically of a person, if a person gives it willingly and it's to go into a work that is for them specifically, I would use blood on a candle of their own to represent them so that they can get their wish. Let's see. There's been 2 movies called The Wicker Man. There has. And Nicolas Cage was in one of them. I think the top one. I think I am a little too clumsy. For what? What is she talking about? And she says I can call her Shannon, and that's why, why the word paperboy, why that's weird for me to call her that, because her real name is Shannon, and paperboy, I mean, just it does not sit with the frilly name Shannon. It don't work out. And yes, girl, I know that you got a rough side to you, so you have a very predominant red side when you want to. But yeah, she got that. Anyway, Invoice says, I came across something interesting. A girl I know that I firmly believe is a natural witch has to wear gloves when handling amethyst because it if she psychically sees all, or she sees all sorts of things, uh, and all sorts of spirits. So yeah, that's very important when you're handling any kind of stones that are very synonymous with you. You have to be very careful because they connect with you in your daily life in a positive or negative way, and it can have repercussions very seriously at times, especially if you're a fire element and you're handling a ruby or something like that, a red stone, unless it's of healing. Let's see, I have also crystals in my garden to keep my herbs and plants happy. And it will. It adds an energy to them for sure. Okay, let's go back to the box. Lodestones as a wand is also very, very positive, Invoice says. And lodestones can draw so many different things. Oh, whoa. I wish she would have put this in a bag. It looks like the herb nettles on site. And it didn't spill, but it was like way over the top. What does that say? Our light is kind of dim here.
Mugwort.
Huh?
Mugwort.
Oh, okay. So mugwort. She has mugwort in this little container. No, it is not a bottle of pills, although it would appear to be a pill bottle. It seems that she uses these for a lot of things. And it's filled with mugwort. Mugwort is one of those herbs I told you about the other day that you could use in mood enhancers as to either smoke or drink tea out of. And along with damiana, chamomile, and other various herbs for mood elevation. Let's see, we have alfalfa, which makes an awfully good tea, is good for healing and vigor.
Oh my.
What's that?
Mystic Witch. Putting rose quartz under the mattress keeps the love in. Wink, if you know what I mean.
Rose quartz. Yeah. Rose quartz. I could see that. I could definitely see that. Now, putting a ruby under the pillow can promote a shitload of fire, too. But yeah, they work. But yeah, mugwort, a gift of mugwort, and a gift of alfalfa. These are two that could be used in teas. They're not toxic. Mugwort could be, but you would have to use like a major, massive amount of it. And in teas, you're diluting it with a lot of other herbs. Or if you're smoking it, it's still safe as long as you mix it in with a lot of different herbs and you don't do it chronically. It is not something you want to use as a tobacco substitute, that's to say the least. St. John's wort is an herb that she has granted me, a bag of St. John's wort, and that's good for relaxation, mood elevation, and the same as mugwort basically. Getting in touch with your natural spirit is something that a lot of these mood elevating herbs are good for, or contacting the spirit world. Witch's fly ointment of today, because belladonna is so hard to get a hold of, you might make a potion, which would be a witch's flying concoction or whatever. And so those are ideas for you. What would be the point of smoking mugwort? If it's mixed in with damiana, if it's mixed in with some of your other mood enhancing herbs, then it would act as a mood enhancer, mood elevation. The Indians used to see spirits through mood elevation, depending on whatever it is that they were smoking in their pipes. A lot of things that would be considered illegal now or hard to get along with. It's very, very relaxing, Talon says, adding to what I've said, and he's absolutely correct. St. John's wort is for joy and empowerment, Mystic Witch says. Also is taken in vitamins for relaxation likewise. It could be like marijuana. There are stronger, much stronger things than that, like salvia divinorum and so forth. But, you know, they're all legal. They're all very much legal. Making concoctions that are relaxants are good for astral projection, mood elevation, meditation, and things of the sort, or helping you to sleep, taking in a cup before bed. Pot makes you see spirits, says Mystic Witch. I guess it would. That it would, and so would peyote if you could get a hold of it. Belladonna, the purple boy, or Shannon says belladonna in question mark. Belladonna is one of your most toxic herbs in the world. One seed of just one berry could kill 15 people. It's considered to be against the law within the United States in most parts due to the fact that the berries are so beautiful and so toxic it draws kids in and they would eat them. And of course, you know, one berry in one small child, it would be an instant death. So you would have to be extremely careful with that. However, in the old days, witch's fly ointment, remember that it is very much diluted with a salve, was using belladonna within witch's fly ointment, diluted by a lot of salve and not taken internally. But a lot of herbs that are extremely toxic would seep in through the skin and could be very, very much a mood enhancer as well as an astral projector, to say the least. Let's see. Vervain is a very big witch's herb. It's used in a lot of dehexings, hexings, and or scrying and seeing things, but used in a magical way. I would suggest that you don't take vervain in until you study it a lot more. I believe that vervain is toxic, but I'm not real sure offhand. It's been a long time since I've studied that. What does NTY mean? I don't know a lot of the acronyms that young people are using today.
No, thank you.
About?
I have a friend who does curses, and she uses pot to make people go crazy. And then Shannon says, "Oh, no, thank you."
Yeah, that could be pretty bad. I just realized that, okay, this herb is kind of open. Alright, my experience with pot is more of an amplifier, and it's a gateway to junk food. Got the munchies. Okay, now we have Palo Santo, which is a very big herb used in voodoo, used in Santeria, and it's a cleanser and a purifier, and it's very, very potent. With this, a little bit goes a long way, and I speak through personal experience. A friend of mine brought this, and a while back, and by the time we burned it to cleanse the house, none of us could be in the house really well. But it's a very good smelling herb, so a little bit doesn't hurt, and it would cleanse and purify. This is so potent, you could drop some of your granulated stuff into some oil and into a burner, and it will stir up energy in your house. It's an awakening herb, and it definitely cleanses out anything dark, negative, or evil. And Palo Santo is the shit, says Mystic Witch. Palo Santo is the Chi-man. I like the herb here. You know, and I agree, it really is. Vervain is used in a lot of love and protection sachets in my practice, Nicole says, and I agree, it can be used in that for sure. Let's see. Granulated eggshells, used a lot in voodoo, Santeria, as well as in Palo and other foreign religions. It is being used a lot more here in the Western countries, or in the Western states, I should say, um, for cleansing and purification, for the embodiment of protection for your child or infant when sprinkled around the baby bed. And let's see, crushed eggshell can be put in foods and for like getting pregnant. It can also be used when mixed with other herbs for cleansing when sprinkled around your house. So crushed eggshell has a lot of uses, but you could imagine that chick within the eggshell, and she gathered these, I'm sure, from a lot of her baby chicks being hatched, and they're from many, many different types of chickens. Um, but these are very, very powerful because they're from her own farm, and they haven't lost any of their ingredients yet. So very powerful here. These. What is it?
Wouldn't the eggshell? Wouldn't that be the equivalent of the human placenta, or would that?
It would be.
Or would that be the yolk? I can't remember.
Well, the placenta would be like the equivalent of the yolk, but this would be like the equivalent of the uterus. And so, in encapsulating a protecting your child by making it feel that it's still in the uterus, where it's safe and secure, you would use this around the baby bed.
Yeah.
However, you can still use it to get pregnant. You've got to remember, on dried eggshell, there is a lot of the yolk still on it that were never taken off in most cases. Let's see. Let's go to the board here. Vervain is used in a lot of love. Okay, I've covered that one. Palo Santo will smoke up the house, and I learned that the hard way. Yes, ma'am. We did too. As a matter of fact, there were 5 of us in a 12 by 24 room when we lit up sticks of Palo Santo, and we had to start aerating very well, and I guarantee you there was no bad spirits in that house for a while to come. And it was, what, clear through the next 3 days we were trying to get rid of the smell, because it was so strong at first that we had to step away from it a while, because it really fucked us up bad. Watch my language. Pardon my language. Anyway, Palo Santo. I just go new and go with sandalwood incense. Well, sandalwood is more of a peace and tranquility, stirs up a creative thought, helps you study or gain knowledge and wisdom, helps you to relax. And so I wouldn't suggest sandalwood as the biggest cleanser or purifier. Check out sage incense or patchouli. You could use that. Those are very good. Let's see. I make eggshell cake. Or is that chalk?
Chalk. I make eggshell chalk / cascaritas.
To draw symbols on the floor and walls. Yes, for invocations, for sigil magic, for things of that nature, you could use eggshell as a chalk for drawing on your walls and floors. I remember hearing about that a long time ago, but it has been a long time. But egg equals womb, yes, absolutely. Also, new birth and young. Alright, so think about that. In Void the Dragon, I've noticed that the quicker an ingredient goes from point A to point B, it retains more spirit. From point A, as the quicker it goes from point A to point, oh yes, the quicker, let's say somebody harvests their herbs out of their garden, the quicker they get it over to the person that's going to use it, the more potent and powerful it's going to be. It's going to encase a lot more of its potency. Kind of like vegetables off of a shelf. When you get it from a grocery store, it's already lost maybe 2 weeks worth of its good, or maybe only a week, but it's lost a lot of it. And it could be, what, 300 times more potent, the vegetable, if you were to get it right out of your garden. So yeah, absolutely. Thoughts on the difference between white or brown eggshell? White would be more for drawing, where brown would be more for grounding or protection, even still. Although they're, I mean, in all reality, they're of the earth. Brown is more neutral. White is more for purity, purification, and stuff like that, where brown would be more for grounding. Let's see. And that's what my thoughts are on that. Colors in color magic are very, very important and can be used systematically with all the other magics that we do, as in candle workings, making sachets and choosing what sachet color we want to use for the outside silk, or whatever material we might be using for that, bags that we wrap things in, etc. Let's see. Nicole says mystic. Okay, that's for someone else. I'm sorry. And specialty with resins and charcoal. Especially with resins and charcoal. What is she making reference to?
Specialty with resins and charcoal.
Especially with resins and charcoal. And she's just talking to somebody else.
To do with, I think it's Nicole's comment, to do with it being smoky. I think so.
Angie says, I'm not seeing what people are typing all of a sudden. Is everybody else seeing what's being typed in the room? Because if it's... Let's see. And then she's typing, have you done a color magic video? I did touch on color magic in some of my videos, particularly with preparing a candle. But I didn't set out to do actually a color magic video, and that is a good idea for a show up and coming. Let's see. Thoughts? Let's see. Are you still not seeing or typing in the room, Angie?
No, she says that she's
worked it out.
Working now.
I hope so. Working out. LOL. Okay. And Mitch Mary says, I can see. That's good. I see the lights. Oh, okay. Anyway, I use eggshells for protection, and Mystic Witch is right there. Eggshells are first and foremost for protection, for the embodiment of the womb, for youth, for growth, rebirth, or birth, and so forth. So, and Boy says he can see, so we're good. And Glenn says a significant delay. I think that might be computer or internet lag, and so that would be on your end more than mine.
Yeah, I've noticed
if you have other programs going on in the background, it could have a big bearing.
I was just saying, I noticed that that's a real problem with mobile operating systems. So, like whenever I'm watching from work, then
you might get that behind the brick walls and with the little internet.
Yeah, a lot of the time, all you can do is
cut back on programs or refresh.
Yeah, I was just gonna say you would refresh. It's not really so much programs.
All right, and back to the unboxing. We've got off topic. Sunstones, good for drawing love. The fire from above, stirring up passion, and drawing money, gold, prosperity, or wealth. Anybody else have a take on the sunstone? Please by all means share it. Eggs and fertility. Eggs are definitely fertility, that's for sure. I'm on the PC, but I do have a shitty internet. And that is your biggest cause for internet lag and things of that nature. Alright, banded amethyst, which is your layered amethyst. Okay, and so it'll show a little band around it. These are cut and polished in a pretty way. I say a pretty way. I'm sounding a little too hillbilly there, and I don't like myself when I do that. But they're of all different colors, and I don't know if you could see this. And so she bestowed upon me a good handful of banded amethyst of many different shapes, colors, and sizes. She knows that I do a lot of spell work for clients, and that I use a lot of crystals and stones on my altar, and so she made sure I was set up with some stones and crystals, and I'll be grateful to her forever for that. You know, you can never get enough crystals and stones. Sunstone is good for luck and fortune, absolutely. I don't have one on the sunstone, but definitely moonstone. Moonstone is good for a lot of things too. Let's see. Sunstone is great for success, joy, sun worship, calling or invoking sun deities. Uh, Also, for drawing, uh, if you're not very careful and you have a very negative way of looking things in a certain day, then you might not want to carry sunstone because it could also draw negative connotations like anger from someone. So be very careful. Is that chevron amethyst? Some of it is. Um, she really did bring me a lot of really, really good stuff. But amethyst is good for drawing love, is good for drawing money, works to do with the earth, growth, education, and acknowledgement of bad faults within one's own self. I would imagine sunstone could be symbolic for Ra or other sun deities, I'm guessing. Yes, absolutely. Yamanu must have taken off because he's not in the room. This is right up his alley as far as Ra and your um, Egyptian deities. Although I will say I have a few of my own that walk with me. I wear an amethyst headpiece when I do channeling and reading. So good for clarity, growth, and opening of the third eye, the mind, and body. Chakras. Let's see. Fenugreek. I don't know of any of the magical connotations in fenugreek, but I will tell you it makes an excellent tea and is good for vigor and good health and things of that nature. Also, the sunstone is linked to a benevolent god, Nicole says. Let's see. Galangeal root. Now, also this is called Lojon, if I remember right. They're one and the same. And these would be done in a lot of your magics within Wicca or witchcraft and other pagan pathways, I'm sure, which would be to help relax you or calm you down, but helps to bring good vitamin sources to you and things of that nature. We use those to empower a lot of Zanzan bags and juju reps, if you know what I mean. Let's see, and that ends what's in the box. No, I got one little vial here. Did I not tell you that this little box had a lot of shit inside of it? I mean, that is a lot of stuff. This woman is wonderful, and I'm gonna have to do something back and equally as wonderful to her, for her to thank her. You know, so maybe a good protection or something I can implement some of my works in, you know, so that it will help her, and it would be up the alley of what I can do. Let's see, lapis lazuli in a little vial, actually. I mean, this is awesome. These are little bitty stones, but they are all big enough to work with, you know. And she has them in a little encasquement of one of those bottles that I showed you earlier. What are lapis lazulis good for? And I'll leave it to you guys to tell me this one. Lapis lazuli, what is it good for? You guys tell me. Tell the room. Let's see. I'm going to put these back in the box, and then we're going to talk briefly on karma, because karma is very, very important. I don't know if there's enough material there that you would do a whole show on it, but I think that we have a good amount of time at which we can still cover things to do with karma. And this was something someone wanted us to talk about very intently. And I have not actually done a show on karma, so that is really, really good. Ooh, don't pack these down ever. So covering karma on the show is really, really good thing to do today. Lapis lazuli is the nicest stone. And that's good. I did not know that, and that explains why I'm so drawn to it. because Isis and Osiris are two of my deities, always first and foremost. But I haven't done my homework in a long time. And Yamanu, welcome back if you were away. You were very quiet for a while, and I felt a change in the atmosphere. It is a powerful stone to connect to the higher planes. Mystic Witch says, I use lapis for protection, communication, dreams, astral travel, and lapis with gold is great for bringing in friendships. I did not know that, but I could see the allure of that. I could see where it would work. And Talon goes back to Tiger's Eye and says, I love Tiger's Eye. My favorite is the blue and green stones. And I have a lot of those mixed in with these multicolored Tiger's Eye that's in here. And do you know, as much as I love the Tiger's Eye, as much as I draw to it, and I believe I've actually even seen it in a rose Tiger's Eye, but I did not snap to the fact that that was what that was. And I did not know that Tiger's Eye came in any other color than your standard brown, black, and gold. So that was new on me, and over my course of 34 years that I have used this stone in so many different ways, I did not know that it came in different colors. And so this other sweet lady that brought me all of this in this box taught me that Tiger's Eye comes in many different colors. And that is just awesome. I love to point out to everyone how I'm still learning, and I'm still so excited about the craft or the various pagan pathways. I'm still so excited, and you still never learn everything, you know. And I can never emphasize enough how people need to be open to learning all they can from everyone they can, because I don't give a shit if you go through 10 lifetimes, you're not going to know everything. You are not. Anyway, let's talk about karma now. I feel that I've covered everybody's comments. Water and air in the night sky. It is also associated with nut. And this guy got, well, I was fixing to say with the nuts. that would have been just fabulous if I would have slipped out with that and not caught it in time, but that would be associated with the nuts. But water, the air, the night sky, and it's also associated with nut and sky goddess. Newt. Anyway, he corrects it and he says newt, spelling it more properly. Okay, so thank you for that correction. You know, nut, N-U-T, does spell nuts, so I was not far off. However, I do not feel that it would be associated closely with racking somebody. Or boulder. Anyway, moving on. Karma is a very, very important thing that we must pay attention to. Very funny. Karma is something very, very important that we should cover and pay attention to. Turning on the air conditioner. It's getting awfully hot in here now. All the laughing. Unless it fell. Whose balls have dropped today? Anyway, karma is a very, very important thing that we should adhere to. There are pathways where people do not lend homage to karma, although in today's society, as Christianity is brought in, as Wiccans are becoming more acknowledged and paid attention to, karma is coming to be a name tag or title for other religions as well that didn't at one time ever adhere to it. Like witchcraft. Witches in the oldest days did not adhere to the ideas or concepts of karma, although a lot of them do today, although I won't say that all of them do. In Santeria, they do not practice or preach karma. So we're covering the pathways right now that does not adhere to that, and voodoo does not adhere to karma. Buddhism and shamanism does not generally, shamanism does, but Buddhism does not.
Buddhism does.
Doesn't? Yeah, but I mean, they don't pay as much attention to it because they generally go out of their way to not do anything dark.
The word karma came from Buddhism.
Did it?
Yeah, karma came from Buddhism.
Well, that's a good thing to know. But in Santeria, in Voodoo, and in old time witchcraft, they did not adhere to the ideas of karma. As a matter of fact, it was brought in much later, and probably from your Eastern countries, or from people that are far, far away, from us anyway. But karma is a bitch. It's a pain in the ass, and if you do send things out to other people within most pagan pathways, it will get you. you know. And so the law of return dictates in some cultures that it will return whatever you send out threefold back to you and with a vengeance. Or 10 times, as what I always teach my students, that karma will come back on you tenfold. And the more you believe in that, the more it will affect you. So, a lot of times we have associated ourselves to karma and we built it against ourselves. But at the same time, the truth lies in turnabout is fair play. What comes about, what you send out will come back, and what goes around comes around. And this is a saying that has been within your mundane cultures forever. Yamanu says resonance. What you do creates ripples, if you will. Eventually it will echo back, but each wave will impact everyone and things as it spreads out. So it not only does against the person that you're making it for, and I believe that Yamanu is saying it's going to affect everyone. And it's true. Whatever you do to change one person's life will send a wave. I mean, that is the butterfly effect, as some people in the mundane world call it. But it will affect everyone. But more than anything, it's going to backlash. It's going to come back and get you, especially if you lend homage to that in your pathway. I think personally it's as simple as the law of return. And that's true. I mean, what goes around comes about. What you send out will always come back to you. The law of return. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. There are so many different ways that this is stated as being a law, rule, or prayer. Angie says, do you believe that you get your karmic rewards in this life or your next life? Or, I believe that it can come back to you in any life. I think that you will get karma in this life. But as one pointed out earlier, the waves ripple and it will go through time. It'll change everything. I believe that you will get it not only in this life, but you'll get it in the next life. So my answer to you would be that you can get it in both. I feel that it's a learning experience that we come back anyway. And so if we're going to get the full learning experience and we're going to actually remember it, then why not? For one thing, I talked in a show that I did just over the past couple of days about how I was burned at the stake as a witch in 2 lives, and I got in touch with that, found that out, and it made me curious as to why such an event would happen. I found out through past life regression that I was an inquisitor before these 2 lives. Okay, so quite simply, what came around was due to what I brought around. Let's see. When you heal, you too will receive healing. So also, yes, that's a good point, Glenn. When you give good, it will also come back to you in good. And you'll also carry that good along with you. Does karma come back to you tenfold, threefold, or what? Generally, it's said by most that it comes back to you threefold. Others say that what comes around goes around, which means you'll just get back what you put out there. And then in my culture, or I say my culture, but in the arena around me, with my students, with the people that I teach, is that it comes back tenfold. And that's because people are not taking into account that it can affect you in not only this life, but it also can get you in the next life. And so that must be accounted for. Or what about the fact that, you wish somebody to lose this or that and it makes them sick, you can actually have death added to you. I mean, it's that bad. And so that would be at least tenfold return. And so that's what I teach my students, to make sure that they do not screw up. And kids are very, very noted for, when you tell them don't touch that, they have to, just because they're forbidden, you know. And so, you know, you do your best to try to protect them, and teach them that they're not to pick that up, or not to play with this, or not dance with danger in certain things, and definitely not to send things out that you don't want having been put on you 10 times plus, you know, after the fact. So you've got to really watch out for that and be very aware of what you're doing. How can you prevent karma from backlashing out at you? For one thing, sit down and really take note of what you're casting for. Are you casting for something that's positive? Is it going to steal from someone else? Is it going to cause somebody else to be ill? Are you shutting down another business because you want that prosperity for yourself, or killing your poor dear Aunt Edna, you know, to get that inheritance because you didn't say where you wanted the money to come from, or better yet, you didn't say where you didn't want it to come from? Karma can bite you in the ass when you don't even try to send something bad someone's way, and you just throw out a spell carelessly, inflicting harm, pain, foreclosure on their house because somebody else wants to buy that property, or whatever. I mean, it can come in so many different forms or fashions, and I've heard of all of it. Rather than cursing, bless the forces working against the problem. Very, very noted. Basically, you know, you would do things to help bring better things to you, and note where you don't want your fortune to come from, and be very specific where you would like it to come from. Okay, and that's one way to prevent karmic backlash. Also, you can really and truthfully stay away from sitting down in your circle when you're in a very negative mindset. For another thing, really bless your enemies more than cursing them. If they're doing something bad to you, don't go into a circle and start trying to do magic to remedy this situation, because your mood can heighten, and you can become more and more angry within your circle, and then what are you creating after that? Crumbs, it was good to see you, and join us tomorrow. I'm just fixing to shut this down, so I'm quite sure you're not going to miss anything else. I hope that you've gotten everything out of the lessons today, and that you really enjoyed it. Come back and see us tomorrow. And thanks for Nicole for letting me know, and for saying Mary Part to her, because it drew my attention. But me as an alchemist, I take bad karma and make it good. There are certain ways that other people can prevent karmic backlash, and that is one of them. As an alchemist, taking bad karma and recycling the energy and making it into something else. Like I said in my show last, I believe it was, I pay homage to Leanne, my dark self, and Leanna, my lighter self, and I let both walk hand in hand in my gray self as Leanne. In this way, when I pay homage to all my different sides, it's very easy for me to kind of shuttle over the things that must be done that could have karmic backlash, such as with letting Leanne, my darkest self, do the magics, with my lightest self taking a holiday somewhere else. It's very easy for me to not be associated with what she wants to do, what my light self doesn't want to be associated with. My light self can take a quietus, and that is pretty late, Siren. But welcome anyway, and thank you for joining us. Your light self taking a quietus, letting your dark self do the work. Your dark self, a lot of times, when you're in your darkest self, doesn't believe in karmic backlash. And so basically, Leanne, my dark self, if there is in fact a worry about karma getting me in any way, form, or fashion, she absorbs that. And so basically, that's one way, although I don't suggest it. I've been a 34-year practitioner within witchcraft, Wicca, and all the other paths I've studied. So I know various ways of, in the ins and outs of this. If you don't know what you're doing, then watch out. If you're a black or dark practitioner, then you will learn all of these different ways because it will become imperative for you as you learn from others that karma does exist. The energy here is amazing. It always is with you guys, and I love it. And I try to stay on with making sure I get the show done, on time every chance I get, unless I, of course, have that technical difficulty that I had just a few days ago. Anyway, I'm going to shut the show down, and Austin said bye to everyone, and he went over and he's studying. He has various tests and things that he has to get ready for, I believe. But I'm going to shut it down for now. And I'm glad that the energy is built up for everyone and we can carry it in our day. If you want, we can say a little bit of a close down calling to the higher power if you would like. Is anybody game for that? Let's see. To those that are new, there is a lot of really good material that is covered here. If you feel like supporting the channel, and it is well appreciated with all the things and the time and everything that we've got to get for what we need to supply for the show, then please support us on Patreon under Eclectic Spiritualist, or go to our website at mysticshadowinsights.com, and all of this information is under any of my videos on the Eclectic Spirituality channel, or Eclectic Spiritualist channel. I don't even know what my channel is called anymore because I have it on various other sites under different names. Or support us likewise on Ask a Witch on Twitch. So let's do a close down calling to the higher power. Almighty deity, spirits of the north, the south, the east and west, I call upon you now to guide me, protect me, and to give me strength throughout my workday or within my day at home. Lend your power and your might to my family as they all take to their own ways on this day. Watch over them and let nothing dark, negative, or evil touch them in whatever way, form, or fashion. Let them have peace upon their pathway, and let them obtain all the knowledge and wisdom they could in every given chance or point that they possibly can. In the name of the almighty deities, blessed be, so mote it be, and so be it. In the name of the almighty deities, blessed be, so mote it be, so be it. And I want to thank you all for joining us here today. We did get up to 18 people in the course of the day. A lot of people are still just poking their head into the room and not sure what they think about it, as is with a lot of people on pagan pathways altogether. I want you all to take care of yourself and remember that my heart is with you and the gods and goddesses are looking over you. If you've missed any parts of the show, go back and review it. It is archived every time through YouTube. Take care of yourself and merry part. Bye-bye.